Good day, it's Monday, December 2nd, 2024. Tariffs on imported goods from Mexico and Canada is still top and among the top three controversial of Trump's promises that he will do, now that he is president-elect. I'm Joe Buban. Welcome to the Pulse. Among the widely searched on Google is the phrase, "What is tariff?" Most of the surge in searches are coming from red states or states with Republican majority voters. Some are seeing this as a sign that the Trump voters may be concerned what they hear that tariffs is like a national sales tax on imported goods, China, Mexico, and Canada. There are also signs visible in many broadcast and other media platforms of buyer's remorse from Trump voters that all will now have to pay higher price on basic consumer goods, manufactured or produced in China, agricultural products from Mexico, and goods from Canada. What many did not know or unwilling to hear during the election, that tariffs imposed on imported goods are passed on to the consumers all the time. When you used to buy a $10 item at Walmart in 2016 became $12.50 in 2017 when Trump imposed tariffs on Chinese goods. You, us, the consumers, pay for the tariffs that then President Donald Trump imposed on products coming from China. China ships more than 80% of imported goods being sold at Walmart. The second sticky issue is the planned mass deportation of illegal aliens that are in the U.S. Larger number in agricultural sector hires undocumented aliens for reason that the need could not be fully met by legally obtained farm workers and legal seasonal workers. The general construction industry will also be significantly affected, according to economists for the housing industry. The third controversial issue is the planned abolition of the U.S. Department of Education. It's not hard to imagine what kind of chaos nationwide this will bring if the Department of Education is abolished and leave only the state to administer public education nationwide without federal funding and policies. These are the top three in Trump's plan to implement once he is sworn in as president comes January. As soon as Trump announced that he is going to make good on his promise to impose 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada, Mexico's newly elected president stood up to Trump's threat. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum wrote in a letter saying Mexico would retaliate with more tariffs of their own on American products flowing into Mexico. In a public letter to Trump, President Sheinbaum that said she is interested in continuing the trade partnership relationship with the U.S. Israel and Lebanon agreed to a ceasefire. A ceasefire between Israel and Iran-backed group Hezbollah came into effect on Wednesday after both sides accepted an agreement brokered by the U.S. and France. Lebanese military is tasked that the ceasefire holds on. The International Criminal Court has already issued warrants of arrest of top Israeli leaders, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, for crimes against humanity towards Palestinians living in Gaza. Brazil's federal police presented evidence to the Supreme Court that former President Jair Bolsonaro was directly involved in the 2023 coup plot, which resulted after his loss in the 2022 presidential election, and the infamous January 8 failed insurrection in Brazil's presidential palace and legislative building in 2023. In a 884-page report, police gathered a nearly 2-year investigation laying out evidence gathered from search warrants, wiretaps, financial records, and plea bargain testimony pointing to a criminal conspiracy with Bolsonaro at the helm. The report shows that Bolsonaro knew about the plot to assassinate now President Lula da Silva. We are going to take a commercial break. Please stay with us.
From the Telly Award-winning creator of Love and Karma, Legacy, and Ultra Feminist. Underneath the bright neon lights of Sin City, where fortunes are won and lost in an instant, and the truth can be a bit hazy. Join Elena, a hard-working single mother, her hot-headed son Miguel, and Gabriel, a Filipino pop star on the brink of international stardom, as they embark on a journey of self-discovery, love, and the courage to find one's voice and speak the truth. Made to Shine, coming soon, presented by Philam TV Network, written and directed by Giovanni Espiritu.
To keep updated or for more information, visit filmtv.us/made to shine or scan the QR code to be added to the email list for updates and upcoming opportunities to be part of the show. Executive produced by Sam Buban and Esmeralda Padilla Gould.
Welcome back to the polls. Republicans win control over the House of Representatives, already winning 219 seats over 213 seats by Democrats. It takes 218 to win a simple majority control. The total number of seats the Democrats will likely hold has not yet been finalized. 2 congressional seats races in California that is being closely watched by leaders of both parties in the House of Representatives are now favoring Democrats. California's 45th District Democratic candidate has taken the lead by 613 votes against the Republican incumbent Michelle Steele. Democrat Derek Tran is poised to become a new congressman from California. And there is also California's 13th race. Democrat Adam Gray is ahead by 182 votes against the incumbent Republican John Duarte. If Derek Tran maintains his lead to the end and Adam Gray prevails against John Duarte, then the Democrats will hold 215 seats and the Republicans 220 seats. With that kind of margin, Democrats only need 3 Republican members to join them in approving a bill favored by Democrats, or 3 Republicans to join them to kill an unpopular bill sponsored by Republicans. The thinnest margin by a party since the Great Depression, when Congress was almost split in half. 3 races have not yet been called officially, 2 on California's congressional districts and 1 in Iowa. We will continue to follow these 3 races and update you here at the polls on the final outcome when there are no more votes to count. In our news from abroad in the Philippines, multiple media outlets confirmed that the National Bureau of Investigations have served a subpoena on Sara Duterte, the vice president, to appear before the NBI director to ask her questions about a threat spoken during a Zoom video conference by the vice president with different Filipino bloggers, talk show hosts, on President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the First Lady, and Speaker Martin Romualdez. The occasion of the said statement on that video conference ran like this. Sara Duterte said, "She gave instruction that if she is killed, she has given instruction to someone to kill the President, the First Lady, and the Speaker." The rift between the Duterte family and the Marcoses and Romualdez's has gone very public. We are going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we will be joined here at the studios by Dr. Tricia Braxton, newly elected member of the Nevada State Board of Education, so we can get some insights what she planned to accomplish during her term of office. Please stay with us.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
From the Telly Award winning creator of Love and Karma, Legacy, and Ultra Feminist. Underneath the bright neon lights of Sin City, where fortunes are won and lost in an instant, and the truth can be a bit hazy. Join Elena, a hardworking single mother, her hot-headed son Miguel, and Gabriel, a Filipino pop star on the brink of international stardom, as they embark on a journey of self-discovery, love, and the courage to find one's voice and speak the truth. Made to Shine, coming soon. Presented by Philam TV Network. Written and directed by Giovanni Espiritu.
To keep updated or for more information, visit filmtv.us/made-to-shine or scan the QR code to be added to the email list for updates and upcoming opportunities to be part of the show. Executive produced by Sam Buban and Esmeralda Padilla Gould.
Welcome back to The Pulse. With me now here is Miss Tricia Braxton, who just won the election for Nevada State Board of Education. Miss Tricia Braxton, thank you for joining.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here.
So before we dive into the questions, please tell us a little bit of a background about yourself.
Sure. Well, I'm Dr. Tricia Braxton. I have a doctorate in public policy from UNLV. I've been a resident of Nevada, of Henderson, Nevada, for 21 years, having moved out west from New York, where I was a New York City police officer for 8 years.
What does a State Board of Education do? And give us a map of where District 1 is.
Absolutely. All right, so the State Board of Education is the accountability arm of the Department of Education. Every state has its Department of Education, and so the Department of Education, having the State Board of Education as its accountability arm, receives information from our school districts. In Nevada, every county has a school district. We have the Clark County School District, we have Washoe County School District, but every county has its school district. We also have a charter school authority in addition to a corrections arm for school board.
Does the Nevada Board of Education have any jurisdiction or power over county school boards?
So the State Board of Education sets policies, if you will, for all of our school boards. And policies will include things like curriculum, right? Choosing the right curriculum or appropriate curriculum. It's really the North Star of education. When you consider start times, for example, what start times would be for our students, that comes from the State Board of Education.
Very wonderful, Doctor. Since your election, what changes would you like to see in the board?
You know, it's funny. I get questions about changes a lot. And I think it's important when a person does take a position to get a better understanding of what is to come, what are some of the current issues at hand, because there are iterations of policy development.
Anyways, Doctor, is this your first time running for office?
It
or
is.
This, oh, okay.
It's my first time running, and so it's an interesting story.
So, Doctor, tell us about your experience as a candidate to be in this election cycle.
Well, this was my first run for office, for any office, really, political office, if you will. I am the recording secretary for the Clark County Democratic Party. But this was a different race, right? I chose the State Board of Education because of the complexities of the State Board and having an understanding having attended state board meetings, for example, of what it entailed. And with my background, knowing that I could provide my experiences and skill sets and lived experiences to decisions that needed to be made. The state board it's comprised of 11 members, but only 4 of the members are elected. And each of the elected members run to represent a quarter of Nevada's population. And so the state of Nevada has 4 congressional districts, and the 4 seats on the State Board of Education mirror those congressional districts. So District 1 for the State Board is the same as Congressional District 1 for Dina Titus, where you have East Las Vegas, Paradise, Whitney area, Henderson, all the way down to Boulder City. It's a huge area. I think it's, of the geographical locations, it might be the smallest, but it's the most densely packed of population. So it's huge.
You know, you did the very best to give yourself some more exposure to like various groups of people.
Thank you.
And it seems like you had a very wonderful team to get you elected this election cycle.
Yes, it was very small but mighty team, you
Yes.
know, and we worked really hard, knocking on doors. That was really important. Showing up at events, you know, just being present. There were times when I'd go, you know, grocery shopping and you know, talking to the person behind me in line, you know, and we would strike up a conversation, and I'd give him a card.
Yes.
You know, going to the beauty supply store, I'd give the person behind the counter
That's
a
not.
card.
That's a fantastic way of reaching out to people.
Absolutely. You know, because I'm a voter too,
Yeah.
right? And so I managed my campaign from the lens of a voter. And I can tell you that one thing that I appreciated last election cycle was when I was able to meet the candidate, you know, and just exchange pleasantries sometimes, you know, and just let them know, hey, I live in your area, you know, and when I was asked, okay, you know, what are some of your concerns? That meant a lot to me. And so I wanted to provide that for my own campaign. But, you know, it wasn't easy. And as I mentioned, you know, I managed this campaign myself, my fiance, he was fantastic. We were going everywhere, whether it was putting up signs and almost being electrocuted ourselves, you know, you know, or just showing up, you know, at a park, because we knew that there were parents there. There were, you know, people who may have just had questions about the state board, just had questions about education, and then delighted to know that there's actually an organizational structure, right, education. That was fun. So it became fun for us, but also necessary, because I ran this campaign from the lens of being a voter.
Yes.
You know, up until the last day, election day, I was campaigning. You know, I was campaigning, I was canvassing, I had my t-shirt on, I had my flyers on, my family had their t-shirts on. My fiance was able to convince voters going into, you know, getting ready to vote, you know, that I was the right candidate. And when I say convince candidates to vote, down ballot races, way down ballot races, like our judicial races and our education races, I usually experience a drop-off in voter participation. Because people may not know who those candidates are, right? You know, with judicial races and education races, there is no political affiliation next to our names. So when people say, oh, I'm going to vote, you know, my ticket, my party, whether you're Republican or Democrat, you're going to vote your party, and then you're going to come to the judicial races and the education races and not know who to vote for, because there's no political affiliation. So I really had to make an extra effort to be out front and centered and present. I had a win rate, I believed at the time, based on previous data for how individuals voted and population. You know, I had a win number of about 90,000, right? So with the area that I told you about, the District 1, it includes, I believe, 15 assembly districts, 7 Senate districts, and 3 school board districts. Right, so everyone's using the term district. But that's what District 1, Congressional District 1, and State Board of Education District 1 is comprised of.
Yes. Coincidentally, it's in that same area.
Right. It's Congressional District 1 and School District 1, they mirror and encompasses a lot. So we had to be present and available and up until Election Day.
Yes.
Right? Through Election Day until 6 o'clock.
Yes.
Election Day.
Yes.
You know, and I think that made a difference. And so my opponent received 101,000 votes, 101, I believe 101,000 votes.
Yeah, somewhere around that area.
Somewhere
Last
around
time
there.
I checked.
Yeah, 101, 800 and something.
Because my dad and I were following up on like the Nevada Secretary of State website.
Yes.
And we keep watching those votes keep getting counted in, especially those who were like by mail.
Yes.
While the first ones were the in-person voting from the day of the election all the way to the early voting.
Right.
And then comes the mail-in ballot, keep flowing and flowing there.
And so, you know, I'm watching numbers from the presidential race. I was watching numbers for the school board races. And, you know, out of the gate, you know, I had a 19-point spread, a 19-point lead.
Yes.
And it didn't dawn on me that, wow, that was a huge lead.
Yeah.
Didn't register at all. My fiance was telling me, this is what you have. He's showing me the phone. You know, we're looking at the same site that you were looking at with your dad.
Yeah.
And it didn't register because I was still on this move, you know, this drive to get more votes, let more people know, you know, this is an important race, and so I was still concerned. I wanted to see like a higher number, but after everything was said and done, you know, I told you what my opponent received, but I received 151,208 votes, and I am grateful for every single one of them.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And you really, you pulled it off really well.
Thank you.
Yes. Dr. Braxton, last words from you. What would you like to say to viewers, voters?
Well, I ran this race to represent my district, to represent everyone in my district. I appreciate the 151,208 votes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Know that I am here to work hard for you, to work hard for my kids, my nephew, your kids, our families, to make sure that Nevada is a premier place to live, an ideal place to live, where we have education to be proud of. Thank you.
Dr. Braxton, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Tricia Braxton, candidate-elect for Nevada Board of Education, District 1. We will leave it at that. Please join us again next time for next week's edition of The Pulse. I'm Joe Buban, and God bless your week.
We use headphones as a part of our everyday lives. Whether we're at work, getting exercise, meditating, in transit, studying, practicing, or relaxing.
Hi, I'm Ryan Sway, the founder of Aircom. I would like to introduce the world's first wireless airflow audio earbuds. As a festival and a concert junkie, I really enjoy the live experience of being there and feeling the music. When we started developing Airflow, our goal was to reproduce that live experience using earbuds.
The problem with traditional headphones is that the speakers are located inside of the earpiece, literally giving you centimeters before the audio hits your eardrum.
What Aircom is doing, they're the first company to actually address the fact that there needs to be a space involved associated with having the sound waves expand fully.
The difference between traditional headphones and Aircom audio is that the air tube gives you 8 times more space, allowing the sound waves to fully develop before they actually hit your eardrums. And this gives it a much more live, natural sound, just like in a recording studio.
It's real nice that someone actually addressed the physics associated with how sound comes out.
The challenge we had was to create an earbud with enough airspace for the sound to fully develop and breathe. Unfortunately, traditional earbuds are about the size of a jelly bean, and there's just not enough airspace. However, that changed when we developed Airflow Audio. Airflow uses an air tube to deliver 6 to 8 times more airspace than traditional earbuds. The end result is a true live listening experience, just like you're at a festival or a concert. We also added magnets to the back of the earpieces so you can wear it around your neck when you're not using it.
Being that the drivers are 8 inches from the earpiece, the magnets do not affect the integrity of the sound at all.
The orange line represents the frequency transmitting through the wire to the speaker, which then converts to the blue sound wave that develops more as it travels up the air tube, producing a balanced, full body and live listening experience.
Another really cool feature is that these earbuds are sweat-proof and water-resistant because they're coated with a super hydrophobic nanotechnology. So now you can be on a skateboard or riding a motorcycle and listen to music as if you were watching a live show or actually in a recording studio.
We're coming to you for help in bringing these unparalleled earbuds to market.